Pilot Pass is afoot. My name is Matthew Pizana, one half of the co-hosting duo of the greatest podcast idea ever invented. And with me today, as always, is my second or third favorite co-host, Del. Don't call me Fonzie Pullen.
I know. See, it looks like somebody's looking for an illegal kick to the head right there. That's what you're going for.
I was indeed. I love that. And today we talk Cobra Kai. Del, how many gis have you worn in your entire life?
I have worn one. I was in Taekwondo when I was a kid.
Nice. How long did that last?
A couple of months, and I got, I think, 2 stripes.
Ooh, okay. So I spent
Kirsten's already doing better than me. She's a yellow belt.
Wow, that's impressive. I spent one day in karate class when I was young, and it was because there was a girl in there, and so we did a little
reason
class.
To be anywhere.
And then we went to watch Best of the Best Part 4, I believe, and it was a great day for me. I didn't get the girl, but I got to stare at her all day, so it was good enough.
Mm-hmm. Leering's fine.
It's it's not a restful offense.
It's
yet.
the gentleman's glare.
There you go. Yeah. Let's talk about Cobra Kai, the reimagining or the extension,
continuation. Yeah, I would say
of Karate Kid and Karate Kid Part 2, starring the little kid that could. Right.
All right, Ralph Maccio as Daniel LaRusso. Of course, what I liked about Cobra Kai is this time it switches who we're focused on. The original story, of course, focused on Danny LaRusso, a young kid who moves to town and is bullied by the Cobra Kai gang. So he meets, all of a sudden I can't think of Mr. Miyagi, who teaches him to wax on, wax off, teaches him karate, and which he uses to defeat Johnny, one of the kids from the Cobra Kai, Sweep the Leg Johnny. And with an illegal kick to the head, which should have disbarred him, but for some reason, even though they say it in the movie that he can't do that, he kicks him in the head anyway, and he's given the award, which I loved about this TV show because they bring it up in the very first episode.
Yep,
that that's a big plot flaw, and they bring it up. But this focuses 34 years later after the events of the All Valley Karate Tournament, and is that really the name of the city, All Valley?
Yep.
Is that
it was called the All Valley Karate?
What a terrible name for the town.
As general as possible.
So, Johnny Lawrence, the blonde-haired kid from Cobra Kai, same actors. So everybody has come back. Only he's the focus of the show now. He is a kind of a down on his luck repairman, working for doing various odd jobs, electrical, cleaning gutters, things like that. He ends up getting fired in the pilot.
Because he can't install a TV on the right wall. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's the one opposite the door. Come on. He, I believe, had a wife at some point, and if I remember right, she passed away, and so her father promised her that he would still take care of Johnny. Or no, I'm sorry, his mother, remarried to a rich gentleman, and when Johnny's mother passed away, his stepfather agreed to take care of him, but he finally goes to visit him and says, look, you're a drunk, you're an alcoholic, you've done nothing with your life. I'm just going to give you one final check and just walk away from all this. I don't want you in my life anymore. I'm over this. So of course he tears the check up, gets in his car, decides to go out and go drinking, stops to grab some beer. And he notices that a kid who had come up to him earlier asking for help is getting bullied by a bunch of kids outside the beer store, and he kind of just lets it happen, until one of them pushes the kid into his car. Of course, that upsets him because it's the same red car from the Red Firebird, right, from the movie. So they really went to go bring everything back and keep it consistent with what you see. There are flashbacks to the TV show,
which are always funny.
Sorry, yeah. And he decides that fine, he will help this kid by teaching him karate, and decides to reopen the Cobra Kai dojo, the Cobra Kai dojo, where he will begin teaching kids karate. One of the things that happens in the episode is his car is hit by a group of girls driving, not paying attention. The car accidentally gets hauled over to Daniel LaRusso's car dealership. And it turns out that Daniel 30 or 40 years later, he's become a very famous car dealership salesman with 4 locations. He's doing very well for his family. And, Johnny tries to sneak in and get his car taken over to a different mechanic, runs into Danny, or they kind of laugh about the old times. I say. Daniel tries to kind of play it off like it's no big deal, but teases Johnny a little bit. You can tell Johnny's still real embarrassed by how he was defeated back then, which is where he points out, he goes, yeah, I beat him in the karate tournament. He's like, yeah, with an illegal kick to the head. Like, you shouldn't have done that. But then it turns out that one of the things is it was Daniel's daughter was in the car with the girls who hit his car. So when I was like, oh shit, now I have my old rival's daughter is the one that damaged my car. Danny agrees, though, to either fix the car for free or give him another one, something of comparable value for a good deal. And Daniel's really kind of trying to help him out, but you can tell that he just kind of wants to blow it off and them not to be friends, but to just kind of overlook it. But Johnny's like way past that. He's been hurt for way too long over this. And of course, by the end, like I said, he decides to reopen the Cobra Kai dojo.
There's so many questions that I want answered from this. Namely, let's start here. How long is Johnny in jail after he beats up all the kids to help the other kid be protected from the bullies? It's at least a month stint in jail, right?
Well, no, because he's only placed in there until probably he has to go see a judge. So I'm assuming it's just overnight.
Well, in the show it is, but I'm saying in real life he does that.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be some real problems.
Yeah, unless there's a way that he can talk the kids out, the parents out of pressing charges. I mean, you do have to press charges. Somebody does. So maybe he threatens their parents, or maybe the kids were so embarrassed, or he explained that he was defending the kid. And the kid, says, yeah, I was defending him. Maybe there's security cameras there that show that he really was, helping defend this kid.
I'm pretty sure you still can't beat up kids.
I don't know. It depends on how funny it is. At least that's what I go by. Because there's been a lot of movies. There's even an Adam Sandler movie where hey, Always Sunny in Philadelphia. They beat the shit out of a group of kids that steal their bicycle, and it's still a great scene. I love it every time.
I can't believe you were just trying to insert an Adam Sandler movie into the discussion. What is happening right now? Let me ask you, first of all, we didn't tell everybody the name of the pilot. It's called Ace Degenerate. I wanted to say that just because I like that. Two names of pilots this year so far. Nobody's been called pilot. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah.
That's a little
People are starting to get away from that. I think I like it, especially because more shows are becoming bought as an entire deal.
Right.
You're not just selling one, you're selling an entire season at least. So there's no need to have a pilot for things anymore. You either get the concept or you don't.
Were you a Karate Kid guy when you were a child? Did you dig on the movie?
I did enjoy the movie. I've probably seen it, I'd say 4 or 5 times. I've seen it maybe once as an adult in the background, watching it at a party or something like that.
What kind of parties are you going to watch the Karate Kid?
Well, ones where people put on movies in the background, and you're walking through the room and people drinking beer here, and there's the cocaine room, the pot room, and maybe
if there's a party, the only movie that should be played on a loop is Lionheart, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's just the rule. I didn't make the rule.
Dragonheart. The one with Sean Connery.
Oh, that one. Okay, yes, excellent.
Or Braveheart. Any Heart movie is fine. Hearts of Atlantis. That's fine.
What was that Heart movie with Mickey Rourke? That was like half a porn. Burning Heart, or something like that.
I don't.
It wasn't 9.5 weeks, but it was around 9.5 weeks time. Maybe we'll have an answer by the end of the podcast. I don't know.
Probably not, because I'm not going to bother looking it up.
No,
so that's going to be on you. Yeah. Call in, folks, right now during our live recording.
I don't think that was Karate Kid on TV much when we were kids. That's where I always base things on. What did it air on TV? I feel like it was they could make too much money elsewhere, so they didn't put it on TV very much.
Yeah, because it did become a franchise. They had Karate Kids 2 and then 3, and then they did the reimagining, he was taught kung fu instead of karate, so that was everybody's big complaint. And
Will Smith's kid, right?
Yeah, Jaden Smith was in it. Jackie Chan was the Mr. Miyagi character. And you know what? I remember nobody giving a flying crap at any of the rest of them, except for the first one. I think the first one is a classic. There's the pose standing, in the crane pose. There's the wax on, wax off. There's the bonsai tree. There's Mr. Miyagi. There's a lot in the first movie that was very memorable, especially for the 80s or was 84. Yeah. So, to me, it reminds me of stuff like Gremlins, Joe Dante films, Inner
Yep.
Space. It kind of holds a place in my heart like that. I know everything about the movie, but I couldn't tell you any really particular scene except for the ending one that I've seen so many times.
Well, that's not true.
but
You know the fly catching scene. That's one of the things because that was also in the video game.
Oh my gosh, the video game. That's right.
Mhm.
But I do know that there are some people that are huge fans that, I mean, like legit watch the movie and are the franchise a little bit less, but there's a band called Sweep the Leg Johnny, which is a math rock band with a jazz saxophonist as the lead, and they're fantastic. They're one of my favorite bands. And they religiously watch that movie. It's one of their favorite movies. Shout out to Sweep the Leg Johnny. You guys were great. I hope you're still around. Yeah, I wasn't one of the people that found it like life changing. I know a lot of people that took a lot from that story, that it really, they based some of their morals or world values on it and stuff like that. No, but I will say that Cobra Kai is fantastic. I liked immediately Cobra Kai more than I was ever interested in Karate Kid, for sure. Like, it's funnier. It's much funnier. Like, it's quicker paced. I like the character of Johnny. I want to see what's going to happen with him.
I like that they have changed the direction of the show for sure. We'll get into this in a little bit, but I don't think the show would have been successful if they'd have kept it with Daniel LaRusso, and there are reasons for that. But I do want to give a quick update alert to everybody that's listening because they've been waiting with bated breath. Angel Heart. Angel Heart is the Dickie Rourke movie that I was talking about.
Thank goodness, Matt, because
now
here
we're clear
I was.
on that. Karate Kid, yeah, it was kind of hokey. It was the 80s hokey kind of movie, but this is something that's more interesting. It started on YouTube Red, which I think is a really kind of interesting history. That it was, I think if you put this on a bigger network, it wouldn't have been the same. They wouldn't have taken the same chances. I think
I don't know. I could see this doing well even on Netflix, but Netflix likes to take chances on things like this. But yes, I think that was a very good chance. Because see, one of the things they did was they made the pilot available for free to anybody that had a YouTube account, but the rest of the season wasn't. So I watched the pilot twice. I really enjoyed it, but not enough to purchase YouTube Red. So when season 3 came and now Netflix took the rights over, and I haven't seen season 3, but from what I hear, it's great. A lot of my friends are like, it's the best show of the year. It came out like just a few weeks ago, like a week or two ago. They said Netflix has really gotten behind it, and they seem to really understand the concept and where the creators want it to go. We should say it's created by Josh Heald and John Hurwitz. Heald, I don't really know so much about. Hurwitz did the Harold and Kumar movies along with Hayden Schlossberg. So those two have worked together, and those are the 3 creators of this show. Josh Heald has nothing on Wikipedia, so he basically may not even exist in real life. I don't know. If you're not on Wikipedia, and I'm not going over to IMDb right now, then you're nothing.
Can I insert a new segment to the show?
Sure.
As Dell has to pronounce a name. Dell, will you please tell me the guy that plays Miguel Diaz? If you look on your Google Docs, it's on there.
I saw that. Oh no, I saw
pronounce his name, please. Go.
I'm gonna. Okay. Zolo Meriduena.
Nailed it.
That's Did I? Okay, wow.
I don't know.
Because I'm terrible with names. Okay, because I'm terrible with names. You know that.
How do I know if you got that right or not? XOLO.
Mutt, you know me. I'm terrible. So, but it's XOLO Mariduena. So Mariduena.
Maybe
Zolo Mariduena.
Maybe it's just Paul. Maybe he just calls himself Paul.
Yeah. Exy. He's X-Man. I'm calling him X-Man. That's it. That's who he is.
Since we're in new segment territory, let me introduce a new segment that we may never use again, but I'm curious to know. How well would a real-life Karate Kid car dealership do you think?
Man, from what I see, if you basically are any kind of celebrity at all, a car dealership works for you just fine. Well, look, car dealerships make money. Let's face it. I remember we had was McMurray in our town, in our little town of Coffin, Texas. Murray. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I went to school with the daughter, and I know that her father and her family did very well owning the car dealership in town. Now you take that and you put something like Shaquille O'Neal's name on it, or who's the one? I can't even think of the TV show right now, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar owns one in a TV show.
Nice.
He runs an RV. Do you know the show I'm talking about?
I don't, but that's awesome.
Okay, but yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's like putting your name on a restaurant. You know, it's if people recognize the name, it's going to do better. And in this town, you know, I just don't know that Daniel would have been that famous. You know, okay, he won a local karate tournament in high school on a Saturday afternoon. Like, okay, who cares? I'm sure that happens all the time here in Dallas. You know, I mean, like, how would that translate to being like, wow, this guy's done so well? It's, you know, what is he getting? Sponsorship deals? Like, what allowed him to purchase this dealership? I guess he got a little bit of a check, winning money, but it couldn't be enough to buy a dealership.
Where does the line draw? Where is the real life to fake life drawn? Like, do they also know that
when you quit calling them
now
by their actor names and you call them by their character names?
Okay.
Where I draw that line.
But, you know, he caught some fame from it. So, like, that would mean that they played him in the movie, so he gets recognition for being the character that was played in the movie?
Maybe. Okay, here's what I'm going to go with, right?
We're at last action hero time right now.
But I'm thinking more, okay, so he wins. It's a local heartwarming story. Hollywood picks it up and rewrites it as a feature film. The feature film does all right, and he still gets residual checks. And those are put away since he's in high school until he's 21. And when he can touch them. And by that point, he has enough. Local car dealership going under, offers to sell it to him. Here's the thing is, car dealership owned by Mr. Miyagi's brother. New character was introduced. And he offers, he's like, you know what, in honor of my brother passing away, I'd like to sell it to you, Daniel. You meant a lot to him. I'll take it for $73 or whatever car dealerships cost. I don't know, $123 or something. Sure. So that's the story I'm going to go with right there. There you go. So there, for all the people wondering, that's the backstory to Cobra Kai. To get Daniel to that point. That's official canon now.
How many Americans would have not responded so well to being given a bonsai when they shot for a car?
That was the other thing. I was like, first of all, bonsai are I've actually tried to grow some before, cherry and maple, and they are extremely difficult to grow, like just from the seed.
Patience.
So you normally need, it's not just that. I mean, the weather conditions have to be perfect. The sun, the water has to be perfect because it's a micro environment, and it's so unbelievably difficult. So you normally have people that do, whether they have bonsai farms where basically, it's somebody's job to take care of hundreds of these things. And then you buy them as they're already grown, because they're much easier to keep alive if they're already basically to an adult, a diminutive adult stage. But raising them is incredibly crazy hard. But here's the other thing. You have to take care of them. They're not just like a plant you can shove in a corner like a ficus or something, watered a little bit. They're extremely temperamental. They're people, if you don't know those people, they are real full trees that are just forced to stop growing because their roots are constrained against the inside of the jar or the pot. So just like real trees, they need to rotate through seasons, and need to have seasons of winter and summer, of high food yield, of low food yield. They need to be able to create rings on the inside that show whether certain years were good or bad. You can't just put these things in a window and water them every day. It doesn't work like that. So it's almost like handing out goldfish or a puppy dog or like a baby, crocodile to everybody that buys a car. Like if you're in Florida and they're like, you get a baby alligator with every car. I'm like, how many people are going to flush those things and kill it? Or just let it on the side of the road. That's just a terrible idea. And no, I don't want that. Here's what I say. How much does that bonsai cost? Bonsais can range up to a couple of $1,000, but a couple of $100. Sometimes I've seen as low as $80, 120, something like that. Why don't you knock that off my car? Quit behind the stupid bonsai trees.
Right, exactly.
And just don't give me the undercoating and take off the stupid bonsai tree off the cost of the car. Because he says you walk away with the free one. Car, you don't walk away with anything for free. All they do is put that in the price of the car.
Yeah.
So the price of the car plus the bonsai tree at triple the price is what you're buying the car for. Well, then I don't want the bonsai tree.
I don't think we stepped on this segment this time, so I'm going to start it now before we do. Del, let's play Netflix, shall we? I want to tell the people if they enjoyed the show or they didn't enjoy the show. What are some other shows that might relate to Cobra Kai? So I want to throw that out there to you, and you give me some ideas on what you think.
There's nothing really special about this show other than it is good and interesting, but there's nothing particularly unique about the world or any particular character.
You don't want to talk about the meta nature of the story?
I was going to say that's where we're going to have to go with this, because it's not like, oh, if you like Star Trek, you're going to like these other shows because it's based in space. If we're talking about, do you want to watch shows about former karate people reopening dojos in a town where their former rival has a car dealership? I don't know that really plays that well if that's your thing. So you're going to have to go with shows that maybe have a gap between their original source material and a new continuation on that. And some of the shows like Arrested Development did that when they got brought back on Netflix. Everyone had aged in that show, and I thought that was really cool. Trying to think of other shows where they have a gap like that. Well, I guess something like Fuller House or something like that.
That's a good one. I was going to say
Saved by the Bell.
There you go. Saved by the Bell. Yep.
It's perfect. We reviewed that one last year, but that was another great continuation where all the characters they were kept, but it's now a different type of show. It's a different sense of humor, and it's a different concept about a different group of people. So you know what? This is very much like the Saved by the Bell.
Did you watch the 90210 remake, the one that they did last year or 2 years ago?
No, but I never watched 90210. I'm sure I saw it in the back. Is that the one with the peach pit?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure, it's as close to the meta idea of this is that they don't go back and play those characters like they did in Saved by the Bell. They are their selves, but then they're redoing the show. So there was a lot of meta activity going on in there. So that's why I like that. Yeah, I like that idea as far as they did it. I'm kind of interested in more stuff. I loved Last Action Hero. I mean, that's still one of my favorite absurd movies.
That movie.
I wish that's
actually one of my
things.
Favorite action movies of all time. I could watch it over and over again. And it bombed. People just didn't. I guess it was too meta when it came out at the time. People did not like it. I love that. Charles Dance, is the bad guy on that.
Exactly. Yep.
I loved that movie, and especially all the movies that Arnold Schwarzenegger starred in that world had Sylvester Stallone as the star of everything he had done. Yeah, that's such a great movie. But I was going to say another one that kind of jumps. Twin Peaks recently did that.
Yep.
Where they finally come back. And again, but that one's they keep with the same characters, but it felt different. The return in Twin Peaks felt like a different show than the original. It felt like more of a return to the Mark Frost and David Lynch earlier season of it, but it did feel like a different type of show entirely.
Cobra Kai is now on Netflix. They have brought it over for the 3rd season. It keeps going. So I guess some people like it, but I want to know, Del, do you like it? What would you suggest to tell the people about Ace Degenerate, the pilot episode from Cobra Kai? Ace Degenerate, you got it, of Cobra Kai. Do you recommend it to the people?
Yes, I do. Again, it's one of those where they don't have to do a lot of world building, like we just talked about in Veep, because it takes place in the real world. Most people are familiar. If you're going to watch it, you're familiar with the movie. But if not, the nice thing is you can jump right in, because the few flashbacks they do give you completely catch you up with anything that you might need to seen from the movie. So it's all character building and humor in the pilot. It is enjoyable. I did watch, like I said, when it was on YouTube Red, I watched the pilot twice within like a 2-day period. I did really enjoy it, and I think I like it better than the movie. I've watched all of season 1. I haven't started season 2 and 3, but it already has been renewed for a 4th season by Netflix. So, and my friends that are watching season 3 have just not stopped talking about how good it is. So apparently Netflix gave them a much higher budget, and they're able to do things that they weren't able to do in the first 2 seasons.
Can they get another actor to play Ralph Maccio?
Yeah, there's the kid that I always think is Ralph Macchio, and then I see it in the credits. I'm like, oh, was that racist? Because I thought that was Ralph Macchio.
Terrible.
I could not think of his name, but yeah, whoever that guy is, there's a guy that I see him in tons of stuff, and I always go, oh, Ralph Macchio, and I'm so embarrassed.
I enjoyed this pilot episode a lot. I would recommend it. The one problem that I saw with it, I'm going to have to go back to Ralph Macchio. We had this talk on Matt Men the other day a little bit about the show. And Matt, as I said, I didn't think Ralph Macchio is the best actor. I try not to denigrate anybody. It's a very difficult job, but sometimes he's not.
He was good on
great.
he was good on Psych as one of the worst police officers they ever had that ran the local academy.
That's true. Matt's argument to me was, well, wait till you get to season 3. There's one scene where he blew me away. So all I could think was, so entire 3 seasons, he has one scene that's good. That's not great, but everybody else is really good. And he has it. I'm fine with him. I mean, he's just don't try to let him outside the box.
One of my friends said, whoever's in charge of Cobra Kai, and I'm like, guys, you could have just Googled that real fast instead of putting whoever, but they said should be in charge of all TV programming for the next 5 years. So whatever's going on in season 3, people are really, it's taking a whole new turn because this is blowing people away. So I'm probably going to start season 2 tonight. Now that we've actually talked about this, because now I want to get to season 3.
That was Pilot Pass. My name is Matthew Pizana. That is Del Pullen on the other end of my microphone.
Oh.
Del, will you tell the people how they can find us, if they want to find us, when they want to find us?
Yes. First of all, on Twitter, it is Pilot Pass Pod. Let's see. Facebook is Pilot Pass. Instagram, Pilot Pass. On YouTube, you're going to have to search Pilot Pass. And I know that sounds crazy because we're a podcast, but we do make it available on YouTube. It's just an audio only. You can find it by typing Pilot Pass and adding Pullen and Pizana in the search bar. We'd really like you guys to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. We need 100 subscribers, and we're getting close, but we need 100 subscribers before we can have our own official URL on there, so that you can just type in Pilot Pass and it goes there immediately. So it would really help us out if you guys, even if you don't, or if you listen on other channels, obviously like and subscribe on any of the podcast apps that you use. Leave us a review on iTunes, 5 stars. Any kind of reviews helps, but really, if you could just hop over and subscribe on the YouTube channel, we're trying to hit that 100 mark just to get that name and solidify that. We've got the website coming up very soon this year, which is going to be, Matt and I are both going to be blogging about some of the shows and maybe even continuing from some of how they go after the pilot, twists and turns they may take. We'll be talking about some of the shows that aren't good enough to make it on the show. We're going to be selling merch through the website as well. So if you're a fan of the show, and I know a few of you are that are listening, then if you can buy your own t-shirt starting next year. We did say that one of the things we are going to be offering is for $73 million, private jet that does have the Pilot Pass logo on the side. Matt and I's face right there next to it. So that'll be available.
You get to choose whether Del or Matt is going to fly you. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I've been working on my pilot's license, but I'll fly you. That's fine. I don't mind. I've heard the takeoff and the flying part is easy. It's the landing part.
Yeah.
And we have parachutes, people, so I'm not too worried about that.
$76 million will buy a new plane.
I think if you just like an elevator, like if you jump when you're just 1 foot from the ground, it doesn't really matter what happens to the plane. You just kind of tuck and roll and you're fine.
So. Yes, that is completely true. Facts. That's what we bring you, people. Facts here on Pilot Pass. Thank you very much for joining us today. Dale, do you want to tell the people anything before we go?
No, man, other than just for Christmas, everybody, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I have my favorite animal in the world is my cat, Princess Zelda. I've owned her for 10 years as of this Christmas. This past Christmas, I got her as a Christmas present 10 years ago from a friend of mine when I had to live in Oklahoma. And for Christmas, my wife, Kat, got me a portrait of Princess Zelda the cat as a princess sitting and posing in a full dress. And I cannot wait to hang this thing up over the living room and have it hanging, staring down at people. I want to say I'm really excited about that. I showed it to Matt a little earlier, but I'll try to put a picture up when we get the Instagram, or I'll try to put a picture of that up on the Instagram. One of the other most important things is we do have a Patreon page. Please hop over there. If you donate, you can get early releases to some of the episodes. You also get the video content of the Zoom calls that Matt and I do when we actually record this. When we do have interviews with some of the other guests, like John Lear, you'll get an extended version of those interviews, and you'll get full content to unedited shows. So you get a lot of benefits there. And maybe we'll treat you to some kind of discount at the store or something like that. But it'd really help out if you could hop over to the Patreon page. We'd really appreciate that.
Those are all excellent points. We are,
and of course, to search Pilot Pass.
You can do that as well. That was it. That is all. We are done for now.
Sweep the leg, Matt.